Guys, the Ecto's about to get upgraded again. It's getting a Servo On Axle mount from Scale Metal Supplies. I got this ordered, came in. When you do this, you want to 4-link it as well. So I've got a little bit of work to do. Guys, take a look. This is the current setup right here. Got a Holmes SHV 800 servo. The battery sits right here. I want to keep my 60-40 bias on this, but all of this has to come out to get this on. We're going to open this up and get a good look at it, and all that's coming out. Before I actually do this job, I want to get a good look at the steering. See how the chassis is moving and all that? I want to eliminate that. So to get rid of that, Servo On Axle, I got to make some room. This is going to be a job. The piece itself looks like a nice solid design. Steel, made in the USA, very nice. You got the hardware, you got the different ends, shorter ends. I've got to assume to make this shorter so you get that servo in there. With everything out of the way, you can pretty much see where we're at right here. And as far as taking this stuff off, you just simply get rid of it. I got to get the bumper off right here. That's a Punk's custom 3D bumper. Got to get this out right here. I may rework this and make this work right here. Don't know yet. I know Bauhaus has a nice piece to go across there, and I've got one on the Trail Runner truck. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that just yet. But anyway, all this right here has to come off. Whoops. The panhard link and all that has to come out, and hopefully I can put some ends on that and actually make that into the link right here. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Now that that's all out of the way, we've got to get another link up here so we can have the 4-link setup, and I did that with this right here. Using a Traxxas 4mm rod end, the long version, I was able to get that on there, just back these out a little bit. Still a lot of thread in there, so hopefully they won't fall apart as I'm bouncing this thing around, because, you know, it really flies, right? But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get these into place, so at least the 4-link part is done. As you guys are seeing, the kit comes with everything you need to put it onto the axle. All of this you're doing here, the nuts, bolts, and all that, that's on you. I have this collection. Plus, I do have a few nice organized things here, like some bolts from Team K&K, the stainless steel. And that's what I've used right here. You got to be conscious of the length of these countersunk bolts right here. These are the 12mm ones. I probably needed the 10s, but I don't have any of those. And the reason is you got to watch for clearance. That servo, once it mounts in here, as this thing articulates, it goes side to side. So that servo's got to have room to move. So I may have to trim those down with a Dremel. Not sure yet. With this mount, you will have to supply your own servo mounts. So they are there, and I did have to open up the holes a little bit to fit a 3mm bolt through there. However, this bolts on right there using the hardware provided for you right here. So these bolts simply hold the bottom in place, and those with the spacers work right there with the existing holes. Down in here, you can see the bolts. Those are where the nuts go to hold the top of the bracket in place. Now I'm going to take this bolt out, take the drive shaft loose, and turn the whole axle forward so I can actually get to those. That didn't really work like I had hoped. The links are actually hitting the top of the bracket, so it won't actually flip forward. Could fumble around with that, or I could go further and take those links loose here and here, and then it should flip up. There we go. I can work with that now, unless I decide to take the shocks off. No, I'm going to do it like this. I got it, just like this. In hindsight, now that I've done it like this, if I had to do another one, I'd just simply remove the entire axle. This thing fits in really nice, I gotta tell you. And right now, I'm not having any clearance issues at all. So that's very pleasant to see. Really nice to see, actually. Now, these new end links right here, these replace this, because if you line this up just about straight, you'll see why. So those are going onto that. And there you go. With this setup right here, full turn is going to happen. It doesn't matter what angle the chassis is or anything. This is turning out nice. I still have to center the horn and get all that set up, but we have the electronics. Now, in my case, I really like my electronics within the chassis rails. It's just personal preference, you know. So I'm going to attempt to mutilate the heck out of this thing and get this bolted right down to there to give me enough room for the receiver, ESC, and the BEC. So here's the setup right here. I got a major cluster of wires to deal with. The receiver, the little BEC, I'll have the links in the description, Crawlmaster Mini. Now what I'm going to do with the battery, I'm going to Velcro it right to the top of the servo. If you're going to compete in a highly organized event, that's probably not allowed. General buddies and all that messing around, you're never going to have an issue. It's the same way I've got it on SV1, and that has worked out really well. This is an old build by today's standards, but the thing still runs great. So I've got a lot of wires to figure out here. Well, here we go, guys. Now most of the wires are all tucked up underneath, so they're kind of out of the way. There's nothing actually in the drive shaft way, so I think I'll be all right. With the change up front, we are still 60-40, and we actually got 50-50. It was like 51-49 before. There we go, guys. That's supposed to be perfect, right? As far as the drive goes, there are 3 things I want to get. Number 1 is the nasty. Let's go ahead and drop down into here. See what we can do with this. I'm really looking forward to seeing that servo really be able to get the turns now. There was quite a bit of stuff moving underneath it. Oh, it's leaning like crazy, but it's awesome because that tire just hooks the right side and comes right on over. So now having the steering like I've got right here, I gotta tell you, kind of makes me want to dig a little bit more into maybe some underdrive gears for the back. Do you guys know if the Vanquish Gen 2 underdrive gears will actually work for this? If they'll work, then I'll gladly put those down in there. I think that would be awesome to get a little bit more overdrive on this. This. Of course, it's been raining out here, so it's either the rocks are going to be super grippy, or I don't know what happens to them sometimes, but man, they just get so impossible to do normal stuff. But that could be that sometimes I'll leave the driver mod in the house. So, and let's see if I can get that settled down. I'd love to be able to ease right through this. Hopefully I can get lucky here. Come on, baby. Don't lift. Don't lift. Come on. Come on. Got it. That was beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. This just right, or that back end will pinch. Very nice. Oh, what was that? I don't care. I got it. I'm taking it. Oh man, that was a bummer. Oh, look at that power I got now. That was a bummer all the way up there. Got stupid with the throttle. Come on, little guy. There we go, redemption. Number 2 is to get Ridgeline sideways. Definitely looks different up front. You can see that servo hanging out there. I did get this at one time, but it was more of a kind of just throttled out of it. I'd like to just crawl it, you know? Just simply get the crawl like I can get with some of my other vehicles. I mean, getting to here is pretty normal, but when you get to right here, it just, come on. Oh well. One day it will crawl this. Not sure what I got to do to it though. And number 3 is to get through this. I recently put SV2 across it and it was brutal. One day, I promise you, I'm gonna get that footer all the way around. I'm gonna finish all this up and I'm gonna keep this tough. Not sure what I'm gonna name this particular crawl. Maybe, I don't know, gauntlet or something. Something cool. Oh boy, I'm already messed up. Ugh. Yeah, I'm toast. Restart that. All right, that was pretty bad. Let's see what we can do here. I'm grinding pretty bad right there. Looks like I might be able to get over that. Let's see what I can do. Got a pretty crazy vertical climb on the left side. All right. Get this to drop down. All right, so now I think I'm just going to simply try to take it across the top. I think I went that way with SV2. Now right here is probably going to catch the belly. I'm going to try to throttle it up a little bit, get the belly across this. Failed. There we go. Now we're going to drop over through here. I got a pretty rough holes to get through, but I want to try to take it around through here and up. I think that's the harder way. So I got to try to get this right through here. Let me see here if I can get this to grab right there. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, oh, I was trying to show you guys the servo. And I think I about messed myself up. All right, we're definitely in a pinch here. Oh, I am moving rocks. Oh, yeah, that was rough. Now right here, if I had dig, I would take that dig and pull that front end right around. I'm doing everything I can to keep this as an Ecto. I'm looking at wanting to do carbon chassis and wanting to put an axial trans in with dig in it and all this stuff, but to do that, it'll be just like every other truck I got. I'm trying to keep this as an Ecto. So I made it through, and I guess I'm going to just take it on out. So all in all, with this particular kit, I do feel it's a little bit more for the builder. Say you have a set of these axles and you're building a custom vehicle. I mean, the kit has everything you need to put the servo on the axle, minus the little servo tab things. So you got to come up with those. But the kit's actually really nice. The vast majority of the work, as you guys saw, was me doing everything around it to make all of that work correctly. Because you get the servo in there, you're not exactly going to have a panhard in there because there's just no room. You're not going to get that in front of the servo. You're not going to get it behind it. Certainly not over top of it. So you kind of have to do the conversion. So hopefully I was able to show if you get this and you're going to convert your Ecto or the Gatekeeper over to this right here, they're pretty much the same truck. You should have a good idea what it takes to get it in there. As far as overall control, I definitely noticed a difference. There was no chassis interaction with the steering. There was nothing flexing out on it. When that servo turns, that SHV 800, when it turns, it's going to turn. So it's awesome. Now you have that without any give. When the chassis or panhard mount gives just a little bit, you lose effective steering. Even though you got all your endpoints set perfectly, you lose effective steering on that. So this eliminates that. And we don't have skill points where we compete, so yeah. And speaking of that, make sure if you put your battery on top of that servo on the axle, make sure it's legal in your local area in case you guys want to compete with this thing. might not be. And if it's not, what you can do is you can just kind of zip tie that battery over to the side, get it off that axle, good to go. But anyway, guys, in that description, I will put a link to the Servo On Axle kit, the Traxxas rod ends that I use to convert that, the bumper, the wheels, the tires, everything that's on here. Guys, check that description. There are affiliate links, AMain, eBay, Amazon, and Horizon. They help out the channel when you guys use them. So it helps me out to keep coming up with this stuff. So guys, check that description, use those links, make sure you're subscribed, and thank you all for watching. Guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. So, in the description, there's a link to become a channel member. If you want to become a channel member, it's a very simple $2, $5, $10, or if you really got some money, $25 a month. It's a simple way to support the channel. So, get that, and I am doing monthly giveaways for members only, so you might want to consider it. So, guys, use those links, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you all for watching.